fuck. Okay. You wonder how many situations there are like that where the contracts have been signed already.
Yeah.
And they're just like, nope, fuck you.
I think she was pretty vocal about her unhappiness before that even happened.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and rumors have been going by saying that she was leaving. Everybody's trying to guess UAE and where it was. It was,
UAE would have been with her and ELB.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been something else. That would have been a problem though.
Yeah.
So, there you go. It's so quiet. We don't have to wait for Sam and David.
I know. That's why it's so quiet. No Waples.
The international incident is hopefully not underway. I can't imagine those guys just parking an RV and walking around France.
Be pretty cool.
I feel high-strung just thinking about it. Not knowing where you're going to park every day. Not knowing where you're going to sleep every night.
Some of the pictures I saw seemed like they were in a pretty set-up location.
Yeah.
So they're RV in it? They rented an RV?
Two.
Uh-huh.
They've got
two of them.
camper buses. And I can only imagine that they've got it dialed in. They figured shit out ahead of time. So.
Not those two, their wives.
Their wives,
Yeah.
exactly.
Let's get that straight.
Yeah. All right, time for the rhyme. We took a week off. Timing was not so good. At least the lead was just as we knew it should. Jackson and I were camping amongst the pines and the maples. We all need to be worried in France because they currently have the Waples. Welcome to episode 487 of the longest-standing podcast in the sport of cycling. I still sound nasally, and I apologize. This is the one and only Packfiller Cycling Podcast. Think of us as a post-ride beer with several friends and one asshole. I am potentially that asshole. Odds are down to 3 out of 1. My name's Pat Bulger. With just 5 stages remain in the men's Tour de France, plenty of fireworks have been provided, so we will break it all down. Welcome again to the show. We are live on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. And if you've ever interested in the Green Room Chatter, be sure to subscribe to our Patreon. It was short tonight because we didn't have to wait 10 minutes for Sham to come in and go, hi. So there we go. Tonight's Scratch Prologue, powered by Scratch Labs Fuel and Hydration, is as follows. What specific beverages personify summer to you? What is like summer in a glass? That one should be pretty easy. So here we go. He's currently sitting with 626 points in our Tour Fantasy competition. Mr. Rimbrake himself, Paul Main.
How many do I have?
3,626.
Oh, really? It's still on the bottom, I bet.
I wasn't going to mention that.
Yeah.
But yeah. You're
like way down.
I think
so. I'll get to the other points here
okay.
as the introductions continue. You can make a comeback.
No. It was like, oh shit, I forgot to do this, and then I was running out of time. I said, I'm just throwing
just names.
Yeah. Names are in there just so I can get under budget.
Yeah.
Paul, what beverage personifies summer to you?
I don't drink it anymore, but a gin and tonic.
Oh,
man
shit.
Alive. Yep.
Okay.
So good substitute, like the Duvel, a Belgian, the pale ale, the Duvel. And then
Jackson's like, what?
It's a devil.
Shocker.
It's called the devil.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then let's see here. And then of course another beer. I don't drink white wines.
You don't.
So it's for refreshment, but a German Hefeweizen. That's it.
Okay.
No Belgian wit beers.
None of that.
Terrible.
Hefeweizen with an orange slice on the rim.
That is
kind
not.
of shit. That's a Belgian white ale. They call it, right?
And they're trying to do a wit beer.
Yeah.
But no, it's wrong.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Terrible.
Yep.
Okay, I agree with you. Second of all, he's currently sitting with 8,745 points.
Okay, I'm not worried anymore.
Mr. Jackson Bulger. So we went from 36.26 to 87.45. There's a chance, Paul. There's a chance. You could beat Sam. You could beat Sam.
Really?
Yeah. You got to get in the game. You got to make your changes.
No, I don't. I don't like doing these. I'm sorry, I'm robbing your time here because it ruins my enjoyment of watching the race because then I'm focusing more on my team.
Okay.
And it's like, no. I just want, because it's like, God dang it, so.
Jackson, you play fantasy football, so this is probably right up your alley.
Yeah, it is. I also did it pretty late, though. I kind of forgot
Yeah.
about it. And it was on the 4th of July, too, so it was kind of like a quick pick thing. But I did kind of reshuffle quite a bit. Like, for instance, I had to drop Vanderpool today.
Yeah.
And I only had 50 credits left. And to drop, it is 50 credits.
It is.
So I picked up Lipovitz.
Oh,
That's a
shit.
good choice.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I have never dropped and switched riders ever before this year, and I did this year.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. Jackson, what beverage personifies summer for you?
I don't know if I have a specific
What
summer
flavor
beverage.
of Truly personifies summer
See,
for you?
I liked all of them, and that's not even like a summer thing. I drink that any time of year. This last week we had pineapple. Was honestly my favorite one. There was a citrus one, there was a raspberry one, and there was a watermelon one. All of them were pretty good.
I
They're
can't
just
bash because I've never had one, so I don't know what those taste
They're
like.
really light and
Yeah.
pretty refreshing too,
And is
which
it
I really like.
5%?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nothing crazy, but
But
it's
that'll
good.
still several of those when you're just sipping them, thinking it tastes like a La Croix water or something like that. Next thing you know, you're shirtless yelling at your wife in the front yard.
Yeah, and it's also I like them because last week it was like either beer or that,
Yeah.
and so the same flavor of beer every single day, it begins to just all taste like muddled water.
You
after
need
a
to
while.
mix up your
You gotta mix up your
options.
drinks. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for example, I had beer, I had my fake white wine,
Uh-huh.
and I had whiskey.
Yeah. So I don't know if I have necessarily a summer drink,
Okay.
but I liked those this last week. So
Okay. I mean, it doesn't have to be an alcoholic beverage, too.
no, I know. I also don't
Oh,
have
really?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it
They
shouldn't.
make those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
what,
not
what,
summer.
so what Kool-Aid?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Oh yeah. Okay, I'll give it to you. Me, I am currently sitting with 9,135 points.
Yeah, I had a bad day.
Thanks to Ben Healy.
Yeah.
I owe Ben Healy a lot. I don't know. I'm in 5th place overall. I am not last. Big D's boys, David's boys. I don't know what he did.
Yeah.
Like he must have paid extra for like multiple liters because he's just crushing it. He's way ahead.
He went with both Jonas and Tade,
He did.
and then had Vanderpool as well.
How can you do that in the game?
But he
Have
also
like
has like 3 riders that were worth
Five.
5 points
Yeah.
each. Yeah.
So-
Well, that's not a bad strategy. It's working.
Well,
really well.
apparently not.
Yeah. I'm Pat Bulger, and Paul took mine. Gin and tonic. But it's got to be a London dry gin, and it's got to be a good tonic. I won't do the whatever.
Craigmont.
Yeah, exactly. Shasta's best or something like that. Tonic, because there's some really good tonics out there, and it's got to have a pretty good wedge of fresh lime in there. And I can... Oh, man. I had one of those when we were camping. This is the reason why we were gone last week. The Bulgers and my wife's family went camping in North Idaho. Don't judge us for that. It's a beautiful area. And there was one night we went over to this bar that was nearby, and you guys all had this huckleberry kind of concoction.
Yeah. It was almost daiquiri-ish.
Yeah. And I was like, gin and tonic, please. I did a Bombay Sapphire because at that time they didn't have. I couldn't see Tanqueray, but I did Bombay Sapphire, and it was just. I could have just
Yeah,
downed it in
that's
one
why I
huge
don't
sip.
drink them anymore. 'Cause that's,
I throw away the straw immediately because I'm like, I'm not drinking this with a straw because
No.
that'll just
Yeah.
gone. Another, please. So it was really good. It has been, as I said, 2 weeks since the last show, gentlemen. How's your cycling lives been?
I mean, I didn't ride last week, which was kind of nice.
I was impressed. I was very impressed.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I kept myself busy. I was doing a lot of different things here and there, carrying stuff, distances,
Paddleboarding. You did some paddleboarding too.
Yeah. But it was also nice to just sit around and relax a little bit.
Yeah. I'm going to ask about that here in a second. Paul, how's your cycling life
I
over
think
the
I
last
got
2 weeks?
probably about 3 rides in. There's, the incentive's not there. I mean, there's
Yeah.
because there isn't any races that we could probably catch some crits over on the west side, but 4 hours of driving, 40-minute crit.
Yeah.
4 hours driving.
I'm not really going to do that.
No. I mean,
we used to do that all the time.
I know, but we weren't married and we didn't have grandkids or kids or,
Was it
a mortgage and, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Was it $600 for a night to stay back
Nope.
then?
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, we crashed on somebody's backyard or in the
Or even a
basement.
Motel 6 was like $40 a night.
And you packed them in.
Yeah.
Because I was the only one with any kind of a credit. Because I was the oldest of the bunch.
Oh, yeah.
So it would be on me, and then we'd just sneak
give you
in.
cash.
I mean, there wasn't a spot on the floor or in the bed, We just 10 people in a 2-bedroom,
Oh, God.
bed. Yeah.
Shit. I didn't do a whole lot of that because my parents were so engaged at the time, especially when I was a junior, obviously. So we would all drive over, and I don't remember where we stayed. I don't remember how we do it. That's how spoiled, rotten of a little shit I apparently was, that I never even blinked about where we were staying. And my dad always made it happen. And I don't know how my dad worked for a living, and we still got over Friday night in time for Friday night races at now the Jerry Baker Velodrome.
Mm-hmm.
Because they would start at like 7. And if you work at 5, you can't get over from Spokane to Seattle in 2 hours. So I don't know how he did it. But we did it, and I never blinked.
Honestly, I was thinking about it this last week and looking at like a nice RV setup like you've got.
Mm-hmm.
That, honestly, for the price of campgrounds, depends on the one.
Yeah.
The one we went to was like $30 a night.
Yeah.
If you go there, you have a comfortable bed, and you have a place to keep your bike. It's not a bad way to do it.
This is true.
But the weather's got to be nice enough. All of our races were like mid to early spring.
Yeah.
And you can't really count on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my RV does have heater, does have, you're inside, you can't hang out inside. However, it does get expensive when your generator has to get fixed. And I just fixed my generator today.
And the gas getting there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
10 miles a gallon.
I'm pulling 10 miles a gallon. So, yeah. My cycling life, in the last 2 weeks, I've only ridden about 4 times. I will admit that my shoulder's been nagging me ever since the crash, my left shoulder. And my daughter-in-law has a very interesting bedside manner with me that she looks at me just like, dumb shit, don't ride. But she means it's out of love.
Yeah.
But she looks at me just like going, don't ride. I'm like, I can't. I have to ride. I have to train. She goes, if you don't rest your shoulder, it's not going to get better, dumbass. She didn't say that, but I saw it in her eyes. And she was right. And so I did end up, I rode Wednesday of this last week. I rode about 2 or 3 times the week before and was feeling good, although the shoulder was messed up. And then today, I rode today, and it was pretty short today, but things are feeling better. Tomorrow I got to find some. You might want to take a few headphones, Paul. I got to find like a 30 to 40 mile mountain bike ride tomorrow, just because I need to, with Breck Epic coming up, and that's what the longest stage is. And I got to find some stuff like that where I'm bouncing around for 4 hours to see how everything works on the shoulder, see how that works. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll all work. How often do you guys take time off, like a week off? Well, but it sounds like you guys kind of have. Does the pressure, does the devil get on your shoulder and say, hey, you're going to hell, you suck.
Oh yeah,
you're getting fatter.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it does for me. I started feeling that yesterday and
the
day before. Yeah, it was just like that stress of like you're losing everything. Like you're gonna start back at square one if you take a week off. That's not true at all. Especially when you see like my watch that I was D-training, which is
D-trading.
Yeah.
I bought the wrong watch.
But it was just like
you need that to add to your psyche.
Yeah,
I'm D-training.
Yeah.
Well, I prefer D-trading as opposed to what the devil's telling me. You're getting fat.
Yeah,
fucker.
But then I also have to think about the fact that it's like, just because I took a week off doesn't mean that I'm really losing anything at all.
Yeah.
So especially because when we did that TNT ride, I felt great, and it's like, what am I going to lose? A percentage in a week that I take off?
I look at that Strava, but your progress over time, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm way up there. I got to do that. I can't drop that. I can't. Sorry. That was my phone vibrating on the bar.
Oh.
It's on silent, but and I want to keep that number up there. And if I take time off, that number will drop.
See,
Nobody else can see it.
Yeah.
I'm the only one.
I do a little reflecting too when I get that way. It's like, why am I? And I talk to my wife about this all the time. But it's like, why am I getting like this? If I enjoy this and this is something that I use as like a pastime or a hobby, and it's a passion, I know, but
God, if somebody told me it was a little hobby I do, I would punch him in the face.
No, and I very much agree.
It's
This is
my
something.
life!
This is something I dedicate.
I got nowhere else to go.
This is something that I dedicate like all of my time in, like a good portion of my time into.
Sure.
But it's supposed to be something that I enjoy, right? It shouldn't be something that should be sitting on my shoulder, pressuring me, making me feel bad about myself. And that's how I have to that's what I have to remind myself.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Paul, you mentioned not having anything on the horizon. What's going to keep you guys going? What's TNTs and group rides? Is that enough?
I think that helps a little bit, but for me, it's just like I always say, there's always next year. So already I'm thinking, like, can I afford to go back down to setting up for next year? Go down to Palm Desert? Can I stay there for eight days? Do it later in March, first part of April. When then it rolls into like our racing season.
Yeah.
I'd rather do that than go over, and this sounds terrible, on the west side and potential rain, and do. They're a great series, but for us, it's just not. I'd rather get, my 70, 80 mile, zone 2 stuff down in the desert and enjoying the sun and that type of thing. So, yeah, I mean, to me, it's just, especially at my age, I realize that, first of all, I ride when I can, and I can't allow, especially if I don't have, it's easier to put aside some, responsibilities a little bit. If I have a goal like, a race coming up, that type of thing, it's easy to justify it. But I don't have anything. I'm not going to start causing a little split between my wife and I because I want to go for a 4-hour bike ride both on Saturday and Sunday. It's not worth it. It's just, what am I doing that for? But I will always, try and stay on top of it. But, yeah, that's it.
I'm hoping that little devil stays on my shoulder for the rest of my days. Just, it's gotta. You gotta have that, because if not, I couldn't imagine sitting back and just going, screw it.
Yeah.
Let's just eat the hot dogs straight out of the pack. They're already cooked. That kind of way to live the rest of your life. It's just like, fuck it. I'm gonna drink wine straight from the box.
Not even in a glass.
Yeah.
Just hold it.
Take it out of the bottle.
There's a term where people take the bag out of the box and just walk around drinking that. I can't remember what the term is, but I heard it.
A foiled Boda bag.
Yeah.
Just. I have a buddy who has said he knew he hit rock bottom when he was actually sitting shirtless in his lounger with the bag from the wine box, just drinking it, sitting there watching a movie. And I know I shouldn't be laughing. That's a cry for help. And he's much better now. He's sober. He's a great freaking guy. But he told me about that, and I was just like, wait, what? You can do that? No.
So where in the box is the best place to take that bag out? I mean, it's from the bottom?
The top,
the tap
I think.
is?
The top. But
you got the tap.
You got to carve out the top. But
No.
You don't want to puncture the
when you
bladder.
buy the box, the tap is not poking out.
Oh.
You have to open
you're
the
just pulling it
box,
straight
bottom of
out
the
of-
box and pull the tap out. Just like after a long cold ride and you have to take a piss, you have to reach down and pull it back out.
Pull that turtle's head out. Yep.
And so, do that. So if you open the top of the box, it just whink, it pulls it right out and you're good to go.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you've thought this through.
Well, I've had wine out of a box and I've opened
but you
the
thought
box.
the process. Yeah, all you have to do.
Yeah.
Well,
see, we were scrambling about how do you get it out of the box.
Nah.
Puncturing the bladder.
I'm here to help.
No.
I'm here to help.
Yeah, two people have never encountered a box before.
I have been also to the point where the wine box you think is empty, But if you open the box and pull the bag out, you can get another glass out of it.
You get the last few drags.
Yes.
That's where you get the sediment.
That's the good shit.
I don't think that wine
I like
even
to
has
chew on
sediment.
it.
Yeah.
Mine has sediment. It's made in a lab.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, we should probably get to the fact that a little bike race is happening in France called the Tour de France, and the top stories from thereof that have hit during the past 2 weeks simply because so much has happened. In case you've just crawled out and you've never heard this podcast before, now I'm not going to go through every stage and every times and rankings and stuff like that. If you're listening to the show, chances are you know what's going on already, or you just hang around to learn tips on how to get wine out of a box. So I'm going to throw out the headlines, or at least a version of the headlines, or a summarized headlines, or whatever it may be, and you guys can have at it. Would you and your expert, and we got to start at the top, and this is how I usually start every Tour de France podcast when we're talking about a specific rider. Would you, in your expert opinion, say that the top spot is secured, barring any bad luck?
I
expected so much quicker responses from that.
It was a little dicey today. I didn't know. A little part of me, because when Jonas...
It was a great bike race today.
It was good.
Opinion. Yeah.
When Jonas first went, I saw Tadej pulling some faces, and I was a little bit worried that he was going to get dropped. I saw him standing a lot more, which typically is a sign that he's hurting.
He doesn't do well in heat, and it was hot.
Yeah.
It was hot.
But the other signs that I did see swaying the other way in today's stage was that he never unzipped, and he only had to pull a face really once. And he attacked him over the top. So I'm interested to see what our next stage 18 and 19 are. I'm interested to see how Tadej responds on Col de la Loze, because he was saying that every time he's ridden that climb, Jonas dropped him. So I think it probably will sway in the direction of Tadej, and I think he will probably win the Tour this year. But I think there's more show to come.
Mm-hmm.
Does that
Yeah. There's going to be some fireworks. Yeah, I don't think it's just sit on and they're going to attack and Tadej's going to mark everything. I think there's going to be, for me, like Visma, if you start looking like Jorgensen dropped way back. I mean, he lost 5 places and stuff. Yeah. And then you see Yates putting a little effort and he drops back. Way I look at it, they're doing like a line change. Because that pace was so fast, and the last couple of times up mountains, that team has like put satellite riders up, like Tej did.
Who's there today?
Yeah, they just have these rotating. So tomorrow will be or the next mountain stage it'll be somebody else. Their day off, they'll go to a certain point and back off, and that's how I think they're going to try and do it. They're just going to have fresh legs, empowering, and because. Tadej was isolated pretty quick. So and I think just even if it doesn't even get any separation, watching that happen, it's fun. Even if it stays this gap or a little bit more, I don't want to see Jonas blow up, because then it's like, the party's over. Yeah. But I think they're going to fight to the bitter end.
And I don't know about the validity of the statements that you're seeing in the press where he's saying along the lines where I would give up my second place in order to attempt to win the Tour. And
Jonas?
And I hope that's the case. God, I hope that's the case.
Yeah. I mean, I think he is attacking harder than he's attacked in the years past. This guy looks like he wants it really bad, and that makes it really exciting. I mean, from second all the way down to place 10, this podium race has been really exciting.
It's shuffling. Every day.
Seeing a guy like Ben Healy come out of the woodwork and just...
He's sitting 9th.
Yeah, I was going to say, be a top 10 rider, seeing Lipovitz perform the way he does and just fighting tooth and nail. This is the best top 10 battle of the Tour I've seen in a while.
Yeah. And like I said, today was just fireworks galore. I honestly... came to a point in my life where I was almost okay with Enric Mas winning a stage today.
Yeah.
But then when he got caught, I went, yay!
Yeah, I wanted Healy to win that. But good for Perry Pont, and I think Soudal needed it after after Remco
They've
dropping
got
out.
They got 4 stage wins.
Yeah.
I guess I forget about
Miller, and then Remco, then ZT.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
was so long ago.
It was way back in early July.
Yeah.
Speaking of the story about the abandonments, Jasper Philipsen in the crash, Remco Evenepoel illness. Is that what?
I think it was. He's going to get some testing done.
Yeah.
Things weren't feeling right, so.
So he needs to loosen up his contract signing hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the stage that he abandoned?
No.
Like the last picture, the cameras are following him.
Oh.
He hands off a water bottle to a little kid.
To a kid.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What,
I did see that.
What shirt did the kid have?
The kid did have a
Red Bull
jersey on. Oh shit!
No way.
I caught that the first time because I was watching Lantern Rouge.
Yeah.
And they were showing that they're doing a recap. They have like a 8-minute recap on, and I'm like going, well, that's a little foreshadowing there.
It's all
there's this
metaphor,
little kid-
man.
Yeah,
That's
right
super
there.
interesting.
And then they
find-
brought it up, and then all of a sudden everybody's
It's
everybody
metaphor.
saw it,
He will
so.
find restored youth at Red Bull. So he's passing
There
it
you go.
on to Red Bull, where
Yeah.
he's going to be young again.
Seeing that image, though, I will say this is a different Remco than we've had in past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was I get being frustrated. Cameras go away, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like you're in your darkest moment. But him in that moment also being like, here, this is going to create the next generation was really cool out of him, I thought.
We are very much as we did with Mark Cavendish, watching people grow up before our eyes, and that's the hard thing to remember sometimes. I was an absolute twat in my early 20s, probably just arrogant, cocky,
So when's that going to change?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. We're getting there. But and then I couldn't imagine having the press recording every single moment of it. I mean, social media is one thing alone. That you're recording yourself as a twat and growing up. But now you've got other people recording it. So that, I hated Cav when he was young, but I love him now. I loved him all the way in the last couple of years. And, I think we're going to have the same thing with this guy. Matthew Van Der Poel abandoned today, pneumonia.
I was really
And a
sad
bee
about
sting.
that, actually.
Was it bee sting too?
Yeah, he got stung in his right eye.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and they can't really take anything for that.
No.
So
I remember when Jonathan Vodders got
there was
bee
somebody
sting.
else too. Yeah, Vodders, that's where he just packed it up. This is a stupid sport.
Yeah.
I mean, that was his last. It was with Critic Adrical.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I can't even take like a Benadryl or whatever just to get that sting down because it goes against the rules.
Yeah.
One of his eyes was swollen shut. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, I am actually really disappointed about the fact that Van Der Poel did have to abandon because he was probably one of the greatest animators of this year's race so far.
One of his best tours.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
last couple of days, though, you could see something was off.
Yeah.
I mean, he was I thought, well, he probably got sick because he was going so freaking hard
Yeah.
for so long, and then your body just fuck it.
Yeah.
And then
You
all of
see
a
him
sudden-
getting popped too early in a break.
Yeah, and you're like, huh.
Yeah.
And so maybe the cold came first, or maybe because he pushed himself, he opened up the doors.
I bet.
How about the decision after Tade's crash to wait for him? I know that was as far away as over a week ago. Tade crashed. Everybody stopped up and wait. Should that be a story? I did see moments where everybody was like, "Oh my God, I'd have gone. I'd have kept going." But I also I thought it was such a non-issue just because it was a silly crash, and the poor guy from X had freaking death threats.
Oh, yeah.
It was a race
crazy.
incident, just like as far as I'm concerned, is Brian Cocard's, and it just if you can't. I hate when people just like totally over exaggerate this whole situation, like he did it on purpose. You think he wants to take him out?
Yeah.
And did you not see? Toddy was literally talking on. It was partly he had one hand off the bars too, so that's just stuff like that happens. And if you can't handle that, just quit watching.
Yeah.
So it's gonna happen. That's just we're playing with physics here. We got two wheels, and there's gyro motion involved, and there's winds and all these different factors. It's not. We're not gonna have like padded streets and everything. It's always gonna be there.
Yeah. I thought it was a really cool gesture that they did sit up and wait, though. And was it Visma that was kind of controlling that a little bit.
In charge of it, I think.
Yeah. And then I even saw too that when Jonas had some bike issues, like Tade was the instigator of telling the pack to be like, hey, we're slowing down, waiting for him, so we can actually like battle it out in a fair way rather than just luck being a part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do get the temptation to be like, I can get the time now.
What would they have gotten out of that, though? I mean,
Yeah.
10, 15 seconds.
And a lot of hatred.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then you poke the bear.
Yeah.
You get ready because shit's going to get up.
Yeah.
And that I saw an article comparing that to Pidcock's waiting for him in Strada Bianca. And Pidcock, I think, was waiting for him in Strada Bianca because Pidcock went, I can't continue this breakaway solo. This isn't going to work. Either I wait for him or I get caught. So my best option is wait for him and get second, probably at that moment. And you just got to deal with it. The battle for the green jersey. Excuse me. I don't know if you guys have seen the current points standings. Jonathan Milan, 251. Second place in the green point jersey is Tadej Pogacar with 240. If he would have won today, if Tadej would have won today, he would have gone into the green jersey.
And there's 2 more mountain stages.
Biniam Girmay is at 169, way back there. Tim Merlier, 150. Jonas Vingegaard also at 150. You have 2 sprinters fighting in the top 5 for the green jersey. And as you said, Jackson, there are 2 potential stage wins for Tadej, and that would put the green jersey out of touch.
Yeah.
So, holy shit! I mean, I do know that there have been years where I think Bernardino might have won a green jersey and
Merckx won all
Merckx
jerseys.
won all of them jerseys. So it has been it has happened.
I don't know, going back in history, I don't know how they scored. The points were less for mountain if they did that, or whether it's consistent through all stages. Merckx could have done it anyway because he sprinted in the sprinter stages. He did it all the time.
Yeah.
He was there all the time. But and this stage, this race, it's a great parcours, every single stage. Because to be honest with you, they said flat stages, they don't do anything. It doesn't. Everything drops. You see viewage, on TV for the French. No one watches it. You can get the highlight now on YouTube. Just wait until the last kilometer and get that. You not waste your whole day and seeing a breakaway group get reeled in within 3 kilometers in, and it all sets up. I think. I've heard that's their intention, and the flatter stages. They said you better start making things interesting, or we're going to start. Kind of scratching them out. So,
which is a game changer for sprinters-based teams, because all of a sudden now your formula is gone. Because if they're going to change the parcours, you got to make sure you got a guy who can get over the climbs. You got to make sure you're going to get, which I'm actually quite okay with, because it does, as you say. Haven't been a whole lot of stages where I'm like going, God, I'm glad I woke up late so I can fast forward through a lot of this.
No, there really haven't been. I mean, I feel like the first week had a little bit of that, but now it's just all action.
Yeah. How would you rate this year's tour so far? Letter grade.
Oh, A.
Really?
A minus.
Yeah, I'm up there too. Yeah, I agree. Who has been the revelation of this year's tour so far for you?
God, I mentioned it earlier. Ben Healy. This guy is just, we all knew it was there, especially, I think it was 2 years ago in the Ardennes Classics. He was racing really well. But now, like, him coming to life in a Grand Tour is awesome. I just hope EF isn't like, you're our GC leader now.
And ruin his career.
Yeah, I hope he's able to do that breakaway riding that he likes to do, and he does that so well.
Yeah.
But
go ahead.
I was gonna say, but he's climbing real well. I think it was on stage 15. Yeah, 15. I think he was climbing with the best of them until like around 10K to go.
Yeah,
which is that's a challenge. I could never imagine that.
Yeah. And to bounce back in the challenge 3 days later and do what he did today.
It's impressive. Yeah.
I think only is that kid because he has no support really. Basically, Picnic is not there.
Doesn't have
and
much.
He is sitting 5th, 4th, 5th?
I think he's 4th.
4th.
Yeah. 22.
Yeah.
He's
22 years old.
Crazy, yeah.
Because he did fairly well in the Dauphiné, but I thought, that's only a week long.
Yeah.
You know, and then, I mean, he's impressive. He
Yeah.
was there today. He's always just there.
Yeah. Honorable mention to Lipovitz, too.
Yeah,
That guy has just been
bringing
also
Red Bull,
young.
Another
up from the
22-year-old.
ashes. Bringing Red Bull up,
Yeah.
too.
They
I mean,
need
helping a lot.
Yeah.
Because
Now Roglic is right there, too.
Yeah.
yeah, 5th overall, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I bet you Roglic is going into Florian's ear and telling a lot of really good advice from a 3-time Grand Tour winner. It's good to learn from a guy like that.
Does help. You're right. Next headline concept: Captain America, aka Quinn Simmons, his comments about Tim Wellens receiving draft assistance from the camera bikes, and I don't want to get too far into the political spectrum, but your opinions on Mr. Simmons himself. I like seeing him at the front again. This has been a while. It's been a bit. I don't know. I think in some cases it's been really interesting, and I think this was a later question that I was going to ask you guys about was the candid nature that we're getting out of a lot of riders in terms of the press, what a lot of things they're saying. Now, I understand that probably, you're walking with a mic up to somebody after an incredibly hard effort, and their emotions are playing into the situation. If you got a good person who knows their job in the media, knows how to ask the right questions to get a fiery response, and that if it bleeds, it leads. So that's what they're trying to do, and it stirs shit up. I don't know. I think Tim Wellens was like, dude, shut the fuck up. We're all, it's the same situation for everybody. If you wanted to, yes, there might be some benefit from the motorcycles because they're surrounding me as I'm riding. I can't control that. Yeah. If you wanted the benefit from the motorcycles, you should have attacked.
And he would, and I'm sure he received some of that being Quinn Simmons a couple of times when he's tried it. I think he spoke on the trainer when he made that statement, cooling down, frustrated because his goal, he had certain stages that he's targeted to win. Yeah. And it's the clock's running out, and it's, you have your heart set on it, and you're like right there. And not only that, there was some other things that are going on in that breakaway with Visma, because that was the same stage that Jonas went down. And Visma had three guys up front, and they're kind of pushing and they didn't know what to do. Yeah. But then they were like not dropping back. But and Wellens is just you can't like Wellens says, you can't control that. I'm just racing my bike. Yeah. And that's more the organizer ASO to take care of that. But man, money, those are great shots. Yeah. When the camera's in front of the face and stuff. Yeah. That's why we watch. Yeah. We don't want to see it from a drone. Everybody, so let's take it a drone. Drone shots are okay, but, nothing. I don't know if you ever been in a race with a drone going past it. Yeah. I guess at some point I'll, get used to it, but, you hear this. Yeah. Yeah.
They're cool, but they're not as a steady cam.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And, I think when it comes to Quinn, I think he's fun. He's, he's an image that definitely people have to take, acquire
the hair,
a little bit.
The stash, the jersey right now. It's just like, and Quinn leans right in his political, and so it's almost like a rolling personification of
Joe Dirt.
It's like, America, fuckers! It's just like I expect. If he had two AK-47s and an eagle on his shoulder, it would be even more perfect. Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, but I think he kind of like personifies the Stars and Bars jersey a little bit.
Yes, he does,
and not in a negative way, but I think that he's fun to watch. He's animated. He's a great character, but I think sometimes we've just got to close it a little bit. Yeah. Which is, like you said, is probably hard after riding over 100 miles every single day for the past 2.5 weeks. Yeah. I couldn't imagine having to deal with that emotionally.
And then have a camera and the microphone in your face.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And you're trying to process it yourself at the end. Sorry to cut you off.
But I think also we were talking about Tade crashing. It's like these are just race situations, and sometimes you have to just accept them for what they are in the situation that you're in.
But you're allowed to be pissed off.
Absolutely.
But the unfortunate thing is when you're pissed off, you've got 5 people with microphones sticking them in your faces.
Yeah, and you've also got a sponsor on your chest.
Yeah. Millions of dollars on
Yeah.
the line. And you know, not only do they have social media accounts, I know that their teams require them to probably post a certain amount of times to their social media accounts. Thank you. But, you know, and sometimes, you know, I think that was where we ran into the biggest issue with Quinn originally was a dumbass social media post that he did a couple of years ago. And, you know, and it's kind of probably haunted him ever since. I don't know what his, you know, I haven't sat down and talked to the dude, so I don't know. I'm not researching.
He was 19 when he did it. Not that should ever excuse it. It was a black man's thumb up.
Yeah.
That's triggered everything.
Yeah.
But when it comes to that, I hopefully, and this is just my take on it, is whatever people's political standings and stuff. I'm not going to have that influence whether I like the person or not. But when they start putting that as part of their personality, that comes before that's when it becomes an issue. But you know, we live in a world right now. We're going all different directions, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And everybody has, and I don't want to make that the separation. Yeah. But if he's going to be, you know, having that in your face, first of all, I'm American, damn it. Then I'm going to go, okay, you got to not.
Yeah.
And
so far his commentary hasn't been America. It's been, fuck, that sucked. I'm pissed off that the bikes gave me an advantage. I'm mad right now. Get this mic out of my face and come talk to me when my PR guy tells me to calm down or Lidl's going to drop our team.
And the only thing that he did, he said once, you know, I'm really want to win a stage, you know, for my team, you know, and for my country, because our country, you know, he goes, I'm proud of my country. Nothing wrong with that.
Sweet.
Absolutely not.
I'm all for that.
You know, that was a cool statement.
Yeah.
Especially because we're not represented in the tour very.
No, it's kind of cool seeing the stars and bars at the front. Hasn't happened since George Hincapie, really. You know, Marty Jamison would probably be mad at me for saying that, but
Well, I mean, and even talking on that a little bit, seeing the American National Champions jersey in a UCI race for the past year. I mean, I forget what his name is. Simon, whoever our last one was, didn't really race that many UCI races, and so we didn't really get to see it. Seeing Alex Howes in it on those races was cool, but I think this has been a nice change up to be able to see it like competing in a race,
a pro
now,
tour
you know?
level at the Tour de France.
Yeah, we don't get that often. I mean, Sepp has been riding a great race, but you know, not
Sepp's got a job to do.
He does, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Our fellow members of the show are currently sleeping off the walk down Ventoux probably right now and are currently at the Tour themselves. They have ridden the Alpe d'Huez. Today they have stood mere feet away from the riders. They struggled up Ventoux, and they sent a bunch of pictures to us today, and thank you, Paul. And I would like to ask you guys first, if you could give your jealousy a letter grade, what would it be?
Oof. A letter grade or a number?
Letter. Or number. We go 1 out of 10. I did letter grade earlier. Let's do number.
Man, I'd give it a 10. If I could reach out and touch that Colnago that Tade was riding today.
There were some
and
photos.
knock him down?
Yeah.
And then steal it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just, that's pretty cool. Be just feet away
they were
from
under the last. I interrupted you, and I'm interrupting you a lot tonight. I apologize.
I was gonna say being feet away from probably the best ever.
Yeah.
I am pretty jealous about that.
Yeah. Paul, what'd you give your grade?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's just for me
it's like,
was, you know, I love that whole idea. That's, you know, like I mentioned before when I've been to Paris-Roubaix and Flanders. I mean, and my comment in our text was, what a great sport. Yeah. Our stadium is something.
So true.
Often, if you're big into football, either American or European,
foot.
Yeah. You don't get to play on that you know, stadium. And I was lucky when I was a sophomore in high school. We went to the state championship and we played in the Kingdome, which wasn't a privilege at all if you landed on that. It was a piece of crap. It was like the worst field I ever. But it was where the Seahawks played. Yeah, you know? And here you know, when you're, 15, 16 years old, you're like going,
this is crazy.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Where are the people?
Yeah.
B school. It was
people.
like no one's at, 5,000 people, just little specks.
It's
all
just
over the
dots
place.
everywhere.
Yeah. But, here you can reach out and like I have pictures of Peter Sagan that seriously I could have just done like that, stuck my hand out and I would have touched him.
Yeah.
And he was in his world championship and he won. I've got a great picture of him, on or she. It is fun and the atmosphere is electrifying. It is something that I was just thinking, I don't know, the tour for me, I want to go back again, of course, and especially because I like the classics. And get us to go as a group would be fun.
Oh, my God.
That'd be
And
great.
Oh, my God.
And the classics are cheaper because, one, flights, and it's not the peak of...
It's not spring.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not summer.
Yeah, it's not summer. So that's a better... And the atmosphere...
Everybody's getting the hell out.
And the people I talked to that have done both, they said the classics are better just for the standpoint, not just financially, but as in... People are so you're at that high pitch.
Yeah,
it's beginning. This is
Yeah.
the beginning of the season. So, and it's probably not like getting to one spot to the next. It's not as much of a hassle because it's only one day. So,
See, what you were saying really reminded me of something that I saw earlier in the year was when the NBA Finals were going on. A Knicks ticket was like $17,000.
You just made a sport about people who don't give a fuck about basketball, who just want to be seen.
Exactly. And I saw an article saying that it is making professional sports out of touch, but out of, the regular person being able to witness it.
Yeah.
Which sucks. Like, I mean, it is the Super Bowl, but the Super Bowl is like double that, maybe
Super Bowl's
triple
all
that.
Corporate tickets.
It is.
Yeah,
It is. But
it's a joke.
But that's sad.
Yeah.
To think about the fact that the common person can't go and see the best play, you know? And then in this, it's so accessible. Sam, David, and their significant others and other family members as well went, and they had to pay for travel, obviously, and then they had to rent these cars. RVs.
Yeah.
But they don't have to pay for stadium fee. They don't have to pay for any of that stuff.
Yeah.
That's what's so cool about this. You're very right.
I just had this same statement with this guy at the grocery store because I talk to people at the grocery store.
You what?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Well, if I know him, I think
Get
it's
your
very
shit
nice.
and get out, man.
I think it's really nice.
Get your shit and get out.
But anyway, I was just there to take a pee, actually. But but we were sitting there talking because he's got season tickets. He and a friend of his have season tickets to the GU game.
Mm-hmm.
They are extremely, extremely hard to get hold of. And now with the way that the NCAA set up with NIT, which these guys are getting paid. So basketball and all college sports are going to totally change to the point where I was telling them the season tickets now, they're out of touch for me, but my brother-in-law is the one that's buying them, and I feel guilty. There's no way I can afford these.
No.
And it's a lot. A lot of people are fighting just to hang on to those.
Yeah.
And every, 5 years, there's an adjustment, and it just keeps going up. Mm-hmm. And I said, I remember a friend of mine who I ride bikes with, I haven't for a while, but he was from New York, and it was like his best memories was going to the Yankees baseball game. And, for hardly any money, they used to go out in the outfield seats. They weren't the best. And he and his brother and his dad, and they were it was like this bonding period. And it was, you could be sitting right next to somebody who makes 3 times more than you and some guy who's looking for a job, and they had something in common, and now we're Yankee fans, and they were, talking the talk, and same with theater. All the arts are all for us to break away from our monotony of work. But now
Leave the world behind for an amount of time.
Professional sports is like, I can't afford to go to those games.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge commitment to go see a Mariners game, and it's like, are you kidding me? It used to be fairly cheap.
Yeah.
But I think road cycling has that allure because you stand right next to, back to the old days, you stand right next to somebody who makes tons of money, and there's somebody who's a ditch digger, and you're talking cycling, and everybody's there.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a percentage of that? I mean, because has spectator behavior gotten worse in bike racing since over the last however many years, or is it just being noticed more? You always get these stories, every year. You see the ad in the coverage on Flow Bikes where you have Remco Evenepoel and a couple other riders all saying, "Hey, please come watch the races. We love having you there. Don't run alongside us. Don't spray water on us. Don't smoke flares and stuff like that." Is this getting worse, or is it just being more noticed?
I think it might. I think it's being more noticed for sure, and I think everybody has a platform now to speak out upon it.
Sure.
Because it's always been crazy. I mean, think about Froome running up Ventoux.
Yeah.
It was like that then.
Well, that was triggered from so many fans crowding the road that the motorcycle couldn't go, and that's where Richie
Port, your friend,
crashed into it. Yeah, exactly. Crashed into him, and then that caused Froome's breakdown. And that's because the winds on Ventoux were so bad that they had to move the finish line down, and you had the, 10 miles worth of people now on 5 miles worth of road. So yeah.
But exactly.
Yeah.
It's just, I think there's more opportunity to say something about it now.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah. That's
well, and I think I think we were talking in the green room before the cameras were rolling that you can go on vintage films, and they were just like in the Giro, the Tifosi just would go ape, totally out of control. I mean, guys would be fighting, knocking another guy out because he's following or pushing another.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been there. That's just part of cycling, like a motorcycle in front of the lead rider. These are the things that it doesn't seem fair, but that is a part of it. We'll work on it. I mean, as long as we work on it. I think the type of bad behavior has changed because of TV coverage and social media. Are people with banners trying to get on the camera, or they're or even sticking their phones out.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bad enough when they were drunk.
Yeah.
But now they're drunk and holding the phone out in front of or a sign, that says "Hi, Oma and Opa."
Yeah, Oma. Yeah.
Or "Wow, you don't know it yet. I'm going to marry you."
Yeah.
That I loved that.
Was
Is that the one that Alaphilippe took?
Yeah. Because no one reads newspapers. I mean, they used to put newspapers down their chest for insulation. Yeah. Well, no one has newspapers, so a cardboard.
And he just took the chunk out of it. It's like,
ripped it off.
To the lady.
But I love that he actually made an effort to get the sign, get the person, and then have her take a picture with both him and Wow.
Yep,
That's cool. I like that.
And poor Alaphilippe, his crash, that he actually separated his shoulder and put it back in himself mid-stage. Yeah. And then his radio was busted, so he thought he won the fucking stage.
Yeah. And then, do you see he went up to Roglic, who had also done exactly the same thing in the exact same situation as in terms of his shoulder.
Yeah.
And they were talking horror stories. It's
the
crazy
man.
shit.
The man is a treasure. Today he was an animator. I hope we get Alaphilippe for a little while longer. He was doing his classic. I just call it the French weave, that just this over emotion, and he occasionally just goes wah, 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 all over the place, and I'm just like going, Alaphilippe's on his game, man. He's weaving. He's very Tommy Vogler.
I was going to say he's the Tommy Vogler of this generation.
Yeah,
and I think he's without a doubt he's somebody who goes out on a shield.
Yeah,
God,
he throws it in, and you look at him and you're like, oh, he blew up. But sometimes it sticks. Sometimes it doesn't.
And that whole team did that today.
Yeah,
they all went for it today.
Yeah.
And that was kind of fun. So, all right, it's time for a little because obviously Monday was a rest day. We always have the big rumors that come about on the rest days. So I'm going to ask you guys. We're going to play a little round of 4 question of rate the rumors. Okay, so your response is going to be: is it legit, and is it good or a bad thing? So the first one: Remco to Red Bull, Bora Hansgrohe. You think it's legit? You think it's a good thing? For example, what's that going to do to Roglic and Florian Lipovitz? Stuff like that. So, Remco to Red Bull, legit, and is it a good thing or bad?
I kind of think it's legit. Because when you look at Soudal's team for this tour, they had Valentin Parapont.
Yeah.
For the mountains.
That was it.
That was all they had. And then Ilian Van Wilder's been doing a little here and there, but that's about it. And I think it would be a good thing for Remco. I think it might bring Soudal back into what it used to be as a classics team, though.
It sounds like they've been farming for classics build-up again. Paul, it's legit. Good.
I think it is legit, and to throw into the mix that Specialized is pretty much in bed with him, and there's a nice transition because Boro Hansgrohe is on Specialized and stuff. Yeah, that makes it a nice, easy clean.
Because the Ineos rumors with Pinarello.
And Pinarella's leaving, so that still opens up that potential. But I don't see him going there because now with this, budget is getting cut at Ineos, Total Energy.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to look for like Kevin Vekelen. Somebody like that's going to fill that.
Wow, you're taking my rumors away because that's the other one where they're.
I have to say one more thing though, but Pinarello with the Pinarello thing, that Pinarello designed their mountain bike and cross bike for
Tom Pidcock.
Yeah, Tom Pidcock.
Yeah.
And so the owner of 36.5 owns Pinarello, and the Scott contract is over.
So we're going to probably see Ineos riders on Scott's.
Possibly.
And Q36.5.
Yeah, we've seen that switch around with Giant and Scott, I think, in a couple of teams.
Yeah.
Villiers went to back and forth with some other teams. Yeah. So.
And then it also makes me wonder, what would freeing up a Remco-sized contract do for Soudal, and who could they attract?
For classics?
Yeah. I think that could be a really exciting little
absolutely.
Sounds
gap.
like Remco's contract isn't up, so they would probably have to falter and basically pay another year of Remco's contract to whatever team you move to or something like that.
I think
the other team would have to pay him. You're right. Sorry. That makes more sense.
Win-win.
Yeah, that is a win-win. So that makes sense.
There's some fun classics riders that they could bring over.
Oh, yeah.
Next rumor, since I'm running out because we just mentioned the other two on the sides. So my last one is a rumor merger of Lotto and Intermarché.
I think that makes sense.
Great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Could you imagine Arnaud Delis and Biniam Girmay working together?
Well, that's one of the rumors, too. Did you have it down? That he's leaving.
That Biniam Girmay would leave.
Where would he go?
Yeah.
I don't know. That was the talk.
Soudal. There it is.
Yeah.
That's the rider we were looking for.
Shit. Damn. That'd be a good match.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really good. So that'd be interesting. I think a lot of people are going to lose their jobs when you got two teams merging into one.
Yeah.
That's what always scares me. And with the Total Energy Ineos thing, that bothers me a little bit too, because you've got this overwhelming need to create these mega teams, high UAE, high Visma Lease Bike, that are controlling the entire pro peloton. And then what does that do to smaller teams? That's what Mark Matteo was talking heavily about. He says we can't compete with these mega teams.
Yeah.
And it's destroying the sport when you almost need salary caps. You almost need to do what baseball has done, where they create this, you can't go above a certain number for your total budget.
Well, interesting on that same note, if you don't mind.
No.
Michael Woods was talking about how unfair TTs are now because it's an arms race. So the teams that have tons of money have, like on smaller teams, they can only afford maybe one or two rider to go into the tunnel for aerodynamics.
Wind tunnel,
And you are there's a couple of those teams, smaller teams, do not have the upper end bikes like Specialized and Pinarello that do all the testing. So their company has to just kind of like, they can't afford it. They have to kind of like copy everybody else. So they're missing a lot. So in my opinion, I think I'd still save I'm going to digress it a little further. Save some of the sprint stages because they can be exciting and they're dangerous, but that's what makes it exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But TTs, I'm done. This aerodynamic thing has got, those custom-made aero bars now, like the smaller teams can't afford those. Those are thousands
Carbon
and thousands.
fiber 3D printed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if anything needs to be cut out on those stages, stage racing is time trials. And they are getting to the point where it's an arms race. The goofy helmets, there isn't anything to gain from that.
Mm-mm.
That's my opinion.
What was the photo I sent you guys? Jonas in his arrow sombrero.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Good.
if which one was it? Was it stage 15?
The climb.
Or no, it was stage 13. If anything was to show that helmet does not really, it didn't really do anything.
Oh.
The difference in setups between those two riders on the top two was really different.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Well, all the riders. There's some that went total TT. Someone with road bikes with it.
Yeah.
I mean, no one knew what exactly was going to be.
I know Luke Plapp had a full disc wheel on his
full
road
disc
bike.
on his road bike, and I saw quite a few of those.
Yeah, it was interesting.
And here he sat on top he had the fastest time for the longest time.
For a while.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew that white paint was heavier than black paint.
Or no paint.
No
paint. Just okay. Yeah.
That's a huge thing.
Yeah,
But
because that's
white,
what
he
Todd
said
Arrow did.
white
White
was
is
the heaviest color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Wow.
Who would have known?
It's kind of racist.
But it's not about weight. It's about arrow.
Because I'm white and I'm heavy. Sorry, that was terrible. That was terrible. I apologize. Okay, now screw the rumors. Let's go flat out with opinions. A couple things before we get to segments here, and we got to talk about the Tour de France Femme avec Zwift. A couple things have happened over the last couple weeks, and I just want to hear your opinion. It could be short ones. First one, for example, Johan Bruneel appeared at the Tour as part of the Belgian media, even though he has a lifetime ban on the sport. Should he be allowed, or is this a douchebag move?
If the UCI says no, that means no. I mean, you can't just all right, we'll just pretend he's not there.
We'll just look the other way.
You open Pandora's box when you allow Voldemort to be able to be associated with it, but I don't know if he's even there. Are they even there?
I haven't watched a single post-tour podcast.
If he's there, I don't know. And Bruneel, it was a great racer. Yeah, and he was part of the dirt and cover-up and everything. But he's passionate about cycling and always has been. And it's a shame.
Yeah, knows his shit.
Be. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He does know his shit.
Yeah.
But I think they're harsher on him than Lance, and that's the part where I have a problem because Lance destroyed tons of people's lives.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get it.
And I said his name.
Yeah, there we go. That's okay. How about asking you guys some names that had big expectations this year that have kind of missed the boat? What are the names that pop into mind of like probably had a lot of money invested into them, were supposed to do great things, and just missed the mark? I'll go first. Ben O'Connor.
I don't know why they continue to invest in that guy is beyond me. He gets pissed and then doesn't deliver ever.
No.
He got second in Worlds and then like third in the Vuelta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like those are pretty unbelievable performances.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I could do it, but in terms of pro cycling, the guy he can't deliver. That and Bahrain victorious.
Oh my
For
God,
God's
they're
sake,
having a hard time.
what an awful tour.
Yeah, it's terrible. And the thing is
Are they sitting in
it was
polka
like
dot?
4 years ago?
And I don't know, but that's generous.
Yeah.
4 years ago, where they were like winning classics, they were winning.
Yeah.
And it's like, where did they come from? And then
Yeah.
they disappeared,
Yeah.
So
A lot of money in there.
Yeah.
Primož Roglic, I'm gonna count as somebody who is supposed to be far better than he is performing. I don't know. We'll see.
I think we'll see more of him.
Top five.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think we'll see more of him towards the end of the week. That's just how he's always functioned. He always wins his Grand Tours that he has won outside of he's never won a tour.
yeah,
It's towards the back end. That's where he comes along because no one's looking at him, but he had this attitude, whether it's a false persona or whatever.
Yeah.
He was like going, I don't give a fuck about the tour,
Yeah.
And that was his attitude.
He was supposed
you
to win
do.
the Giro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think right now when it comes to Roglic that he's just whatever happens.
Yeah.
And I do think that he's riding a much better race than I honestly expected.
Well, he's upright.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I expected the guy to be out week 1.
Shit, that's so sad. that, that's going to be an asterisk on your career. Just bad luck.
Yeah.
Just horrible
Well,
bad
and
luck.
I think he also peaked right at the time when Tadej Pogacar first became like this.
Yeah.
Who the hell is this unbelievable rider?
Who's this punk?
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
that sucks. When he lost that tour on the last stage, that was the last. It was like, this is like Roglic is the best. That was the last time he was looked at like that.
That was
Same
almost
country too.
Yeah.
From a small country.
that was almost a Laurent Fignon moment that just like mentally you might never come back from. I remember watching Le Mans beat Fignon in that tour. 89, sorry. Watching that race, and you saw Fignon just collapse, and the guy was never the same again. He probably just raged about that for the remainder of his days.
I haven't read his book. I want to get his book.
I need to read his book. Now, I didn't even know there was a book. That's sad.
Yeah. So Laurent Fignon, I can't remember it's a great title too, but anyway.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I got to hit the French theme again because upcoming we have the Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift, which starts in just a few days. And although our start lists are incredibly partial, I was saying this to you guys before we started here today, that you good?
Yeah, I have to go to the bathroom. But
okay. That we're staring at some. I can't believe here we are just a few days before the start of the race, and we've got such an empty start list. You thought they'd get those commitments, but with the Giro just happening, I guess we're giving them some slack. 9 stages this year. 1, 2, 3, predominantly flat, hilly, 1, 2 hilly stages, 2 definite mountain stages, predominantly in the last 2 days. We're seeing some great stuff. Some fireworks from last year that absolutely, I think, rivaled the men's tour in so many ways, especially those final stages where Keshe Niewiadoma was able to hold on and take the win there. So I got to ask you guys, what do you think the chances are of a repeat for Niewiadoma?
Oh boy, I don't really feel like they're that high.
Really?
I kind of feel like there's one winner. I really feel
You
that
think
way.
Vollering's just going to pull a Tadej and just absolutely crush?
Yeah, I kind of do feel that way a little bit. Yeah.
Can anybody stop her?
No, Kopeck's not really had a great year. I thought Anna van der Breggen would come along a lot faster than she has, just because of her palmares. But, I just don't see. It's her race to lose, I think.
I love Elisa Longo Borghini, and she obviously had a great race just a couple weeks ago, and the Giro, and I think she could do something great. But I think an on form, motivated Demi Vollering, holy shit,
that skipped the Giro for this particular reason.
Yeah.
The only thing I think that mishap is the only thing that's going to probably put her out.
Yeah.
That's about it. Mm-hmm. Kind of like what we all think about Tadej.
Yeah.
What's going to stop that train?
Yeah.
So other than Demi, who are 2 other names that pop into your head for a podium?
Maybe a lot of Kopecky.
You think Lada could climb
possibly?
like that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anna van der Breggen. I was looking at a bunch of, and maybe
Ferran Prevot.
You wonder about Ferran Prevot a little bit. I also thought Pug Peterson could have a good...
She had a great tour last year.
So that could be good. I don't know. You hope for someone like...
And she's young enough that I think Pug is young enough that she could probably make an advancement from where she was before,
Yeah, which actually, I don't know, makes it a little bit more exciting, having somebody who can climb the way she can.
Yeah.
I've always rooted for Niewiadoma. I have always, and I would love to see her on the podium again this year.
And I bet she'll be top 3.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I always tread lightly here, and it's always so strange that I do, because I know there is some animosity. I've received notifications and texts and messages on our show about how we don't talk about women's cycling enough. And I know there's some anger there, especially when it comes to the comparison. But does having the women's tour start not only during but immediately after the men's tour. Does that lessen it or does that build it for you? How does that, we come off of a 3-week tour. Are you tired of watching bike racing or do you just jump right into it and watch the next one?
I mean, I have a strict, I barely watch bike racing until Il Lombardia rule. It's like I'll start the Vuelta and I'll be like, this sucks. Why am I doing this?
You watch, so you stop as soon as...
as soon as the tour is over, I don't really watch any bike racing until Lombardia is back.
Really?
Is it Lombardia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're talking about very
Falling
first.
Leaves. Tour of the Falling Leaves.
That's the end of the season.
Yeah,
So you think
that's what he says. He doesn't watch the Vuelta, but he watches the Lombardia.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's
the
it. That's the one. Yeah.
So the end of this, so your season more or less comes to a close.
Unless there's a certain someone riding that Grand Tour. But that's the only way I'm going to watch any bike racing. However, I do kind of feel like we were talking about how we're going to stop that train. If you've got a full head of steam, why stop?
Mm-hmm.
You've got people hyped about bike racing, and then you bring the female viewership over to something like the Tour, like the Tour de France avec Zwift, because it's just more applicable to different audiences.
So keep it going. Keep the fire going.
Might as well keep
the
the steam rolling.
And I have to agree. I think of all the classics that the women do, at least for me, maybe because I'm passionate about Paris-Roubaix, but they do it the day before.
Yeah.
And that seems to work. I mean, as opposed to having it at the same day.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at Ronde van Vlaanderen and the Tour de Flanders, and they had the women before the men, and I have a picture there on the Muir where I'm looking around and the women are coming up, and I took a picture, and it's not very many. It's early in the morning, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And when the men came, it was asses and elbows.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just something that's going to have to change, gradually change, and I think if I went back again, we're going to see more women. But I think the format of having a women's either before or directly after, so people are still have that, fervor in them. I think that's a better thing. You can't run it at the same time. No bike race is successful during the Tour de France. None.
I remember Marianne Martin. The year she won.
Yeah.
She also they ran that race alongside the men.
Do you know anybody's interviewed her?
Marianne? No, I don't. Yeah. Oh, that's right.
no.
Me. Yeah, exactly. Look through the archives. Marianne Martin, the first, was she the first official American to win the Tour de France? Yeah, exactly. Really cool person too.
Yeah, she's
really
very
cool
nice.
talk. But they used to run that simultaneously with the tour, and it was a shit ton longer. It wasn't 9 days.
But they had to have like 5 days rest or 3 days because the amateurs, in order to fill the field, there were some weird rules that they had to do because they had amateurs in there because there wasn't professional cycling was it 1984?
Yes.
Yeah,
1985.
85.
Because Hinault won.
Yeah.
No, she was next to. It was 84.
Yeah.
She was next to Laurent Fignon.
Yep.
Yeah.
84. So, I mean, I think we're at a stage where women's cycling is growing. If you would have looked at it like before COVID to now, I think we need to keep pressing on, but through time it's just going to get better. Road cycling was nothing, in the 1900s. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's taken hundreds of years before to get to where it's at.
Yeah.
So
now if we can only catch up in this country.
It's not going to happen.
There we go. Okay, it's time to get to our segments tonight. Thanks to you, the listener. Patreon is up. Check it out. We've got some I don't know, spoilers, not spoilers, some benefits that go to the Patreon subscribers. It is not, you do not have to pay to be a Patreon subscriber, and it is nice to have you there. And for example, I'm going to throw up the Dickie shirts for Patreon subscribers there here pretty soon. So those are only, so far, those are only an insider deal.
Wow.
And they're pretty cool shirts, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But I've only got like 4 or 5 left. So I'm going to throw them up to Patreon and see if anybody wants them there. So check out, click on our homepage, check out that, and see if you can go. I was supposed to shut up before the actual jingle ended, and I didn't. So we got 2 segments tonight. Just two.
Yeah.
Just two. You know,
nice.
because I don't need to talk any more than I normally do. So shut up, Pat. That's my wife. Tells me all the time. I'm going to put that on my headstone. Our first one tonight is Changing Times with Paul Main. And this one, I love that you always come up with the titles. And this one is It's My Oxygen. I think I know where this is going.
Oh, yeah.
Go for it.
Well, we kind of tapped around it.
Yeah.
You know, on our conversation earlier. So I've mentioned many times before, I'm a boxing fan. And there's a parallel between the new heavyweight, not new. He's unified all the belts. Since 1999, there hasn't been a unification of what they call the alphabets. There's 4 major belts in boxing, and he has all of them.
What?
Alexander Usyk.
Okay.
He's Ukrainian,
Yeah.
and he started off. He been boxing since he was 10 years old, and he is very passionate about it. He's 38 years old, and he had a title
Holy
defense
shit.
against a 27-year-old, and he knocked him out in the 5th round, excuse me. But before the fight, they always have big conferences. Boxing's all about promotion, money's big
The
time.
poses, all that shit. Yeah.
He doesn't. He's not a big talker because he doesn't speak English very well, but he says some funny things that makes people crack up. But anyway, I really admire him because his workload and his work ethic is massive, and everybody started talking to him about, at age 38. I mean, what do you got to? You've knocked out all the best people. I mean, you're not knocked out, but you've beaten all the best in the heavyweight, and he came from the weight below. He had to gain weight to take on, like, when he fought Tyson Fury, who's 6'8" and 185 pounds. He's 6'3" and weighed 135 pounds. And it's like
Crazy.
Goliath and and David. So, so anyway, he's very religious in his Orthodox religion, and he loves his family. And he gives short answers. But they were talking to him, and I thought this is pretty cool. They said, at age 38, where do you get your motivation? And he says, I don't have motivation. I have discipline. Motivation is temporary. Today, for example, I have motivation. Tomorrow, I will wake up early. I don't have motivation. But when I wake up early in the morning to train, I never have motivation. It's only discipline. So, because he doesn't speak English, but it's all about, he does it. And they said, well, what makes you do this? And he says, you have to understand. And they go, where are you going to go after this? Because you've done it all. He says, I have to box. You going to retire? No, I have to box. It's my oxygen. And I thought that was so great. And to me, it was like, for me, it's like every year. That's why I always say there's always next year, because my motivation to cycling racing is my oxygen. And for me, that was good, because we always talk about on the show quite a bit about having the motivation to get on the bike. I need to switch that over to discipline. And this is the day that I do this. And this is the day that I, whatever, my core, and just stick to it. Yeah. And that's where success comes from. So there you go.
Jackson, you've been back to strength training. And I thought about that. I thought about it. Didn't do anything about it. But I thought about, it's like my shoulder's sore, and I'm like, well, what was me? But I'm like, God damn it. I wonder if I would have kept doing my strength training all year, not just stopping in late April, early May, and continuing with rowing and stuff like that, if my shoulder recovery would have been shortened.
Maybe.
And these types of things. That's the discipline. That's like Monday always used to be the day I got on the rowing machine. I should still do that. Yep. I should be doing that all year round. Even though it sucks and my house is 80 degrees because I don't have air conditioning.
But you're doing it not for motivation. Yeah. You don't need motivation. It's just the discipline to do it. And then the discipline doing those things gives you the oxygen.
Yeah. Shit, damn, I like that.
That's
I like that a lot. Yeah. I like that a lot. Okay, where is Jackson's cool down taking us home, bringing us something interesting. And I love how you always pose it as a question. So I hope tonight is. But if it's not, I'll be okay.
It is. When we were originally talking about our vacation, that's kind of what I came in ready to talk about. However, I'm the type of guy that likes to think on their feet.
Pivot.
Yep. And so mine is not really about cycling at all.
Oh.
Which I think is fine because it's...
Well, you asked us the other night about cars.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to a concert this weekend, and I'm really excited about it. But it's not a general admissions concert. I want that to be very clear. For those that don't know what a general admissions concert is, you're standing in a pit and you're miserable. I hate general.
At our age group, we were like,
Yeah.
we're in the pit. The pit was got banged up, man.
Yeah.
I rarely like.
Actually, I was shit at that. My wife liked to be in the pit.
Right.
I did not.
But I rarely like a general admissions situation.
Okay.
It's just sweaty. You're fighting for stuff, and I don't want to have to fight and watch my artist at the same time. I just want to like sit there. I'm not in a race.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting for position. And so my question is, are you guys concert people, or would you rather just listen to the music like on your phone?
Oh, okay.
So Paul, are you a concert person?
I am not. And funny you brought it up because we just had my wife likes concerts.
Okay.
Not a big concert goer, but of people that she likes. So Macy
Sure.
Gray came to town.
Yeah.
And will you go? And I said, yeah, because what the heck? It's 3 blocks away from our place. So,
Yeah.
so we went down to the Bing, which is a great theater and everything. And she really liked Macy Gray. And this concert was all based on her Grammy-winning album 25 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So for those who are counting, that's 2000.
It was that long ago?
Yes. I'm like going, fuck! 20. What's with the 25? She goes, it was 25 years ago. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, shit.
Well, my wife was she loved Macy Gray.
Mm-hmm.
It was her go-to music when she was running, doing marathons on her Discman, back then. And, everything. Just
goodbye and I choke. Yeah,
that was the
a
last
great
song.
Yeah, sorry.
But she did every song on the album. But what I'm saying is she came out and she was not all there.
Shit.
And it was so disappointing for my wife, who was just like so excited for this. And it was not general admission.
Yeah.
So her frustration is like nobody's moving. Well, you can't go anywhere. I mean, this old theater is like, even when the seat is flipped up, you barely have enough room to let the person next to him. Yeah,
exactly.
You can't do anything. So, but she came out, hey, let's get the thing going. And the biggest disappointment right towards the end, whether she started getting out of her fog, she didn't even know there was a balcony. She thought she was only singing to 100 people.
Shit.
Oh, jeez.
No.
And it's like, Renee's like, I think I'm done. And I said, we went to Natalie Merchant, 10,000 Maniacs. That's another one.
Another great.
And that was good. And some people wanted that type of action. And Natalie Merchant was like, no.
Yeah.
She basically said, that's not who I am. And this is not the place.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But I do like going to like clubs for listening to jazz. I like,
okay.
That'd be pretty cool.
Even summer, like Manitou Park just down here, every Friday they have like local artists singing,
cool.
have a beer. Yeah. That's my type of concert. So, but no.
Wow. I am a concert person.
Mm-hmm.
I very much am. There are a lot of bands. There used to be, and it hasn't happened this summer. I think COVID kind of put the dagger in it, but there was every summer my wife and I would go and see at least two shows, two good bands, and I loved it. I like to have my seat, and I like to have my space, Yeah, who would have thought? We've gone to the Columbia River, not
the Gorge,
and seen some shows there, and that's kind of like you got to kind of pick out your space and hope nobody moves in on it or stands in front of you. And it's a woman who likes to have hairy armpits and puts her hands over her head and likes to sway back and forth. You can see what I'm talking about right now. Everybody who's listening to this show goes, "I see that woman," and she's going, "Yeah."
Yeah.
She shits herself or something. But anyway, so I'm okay with those kind of shows, but I do like having my space just so I can stand. I'm not a dancer at concerts. I've gotten shit for the fact that because I grew up in a band watching so many other bands where you stand there. The pose is you hold your beer close to your chest and you stand there and you bob your head back and forth. That's how I am when I go to concerts, and I do it. I will admit that I've Sam Wapled a lot of concerts where I bought the tickets and I haven't gone, and I've regretted every single minute of it. I really wanted to go see Spoon, a kind of a indie alt rock band. I bought one ticket to him, and I was like, I'm going. And I didn't go. I chickened out. I didn't go. And I regret that. And there have been some bands that I've regretted. And there's also, like you, Paul, with Macy Gray, there are some bands that I wish I would have seen in the 90s and early 2000s that are now touring. And I have gone to them. My wife and I went to the Indigo Girls a couple months ago.
Oh, yeah.
And we left halfway through the show. They were playing just random songs. And I get it. You're tired of the hits, but sprinkle them in every so. I guess a friend of mine told me that they really played a lot of the hits in the last half hour of the show, and I'm like, we were there for 90 minutes, and we got kind of tired, so we left. And that bumps me out. I love live music. I love the arts live. Art should be seen live. It's like standing on a roadway. Sam and David just experienced something that I can't fathom.
Yeah.
I couldn't fathom that Sam took a picture 3 feet away from Tadej Pogacar in yellow. When you see an artist, even if you're so far back that you can only see him on the Jumbotron, you can look at the stage and go, holy shit, that person is right there.
And it also is really interesting in terms of, like, I could only imagine what Sam and David and all of them experienced.
Yeah.
But, like, being in the presence of, like, someone like Taylor Swift, they just carry an aura that fills a place that you're like, this is a special human being.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is so special about seeing these things in person.
My wife and I got free tickets to Garth Brooks back in his heyday. And I was like, I don't like Garth Brooks. I'm not a country music fan. She's like, I know, let's just go.
Yeah.
And so we went. Changed my whole perspective. Guy was an unbelievable showman. He just put on a great show. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's good.
Yeah.
It changes the game.
People blow you away.
Yeah.
And I think that's special about it. But yeah, I'm excited. And like I said,
what show are you seeing?
That is, I am going to a country concert, and that's what I'll say.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know people got opinions on him. So
that's fine. You're wearing camo right now, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
I'm
not really.
Okay.
I'm not. It's not that I'm embarrassed about it. I just.
I know people don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
People got opinions on him. Bob Newhart said, "I don't like country music," and he goes, and that's not to degrade those people who do like country music. And for those who do like country, degrade means to put down.
I will say
it's one of the greatest quotes.
I will say from this last year, I do like country music. You and I were talking about this earlier in the year. I just like what I like, and I don't think there's a problem with that.
No,
I have a take on that. I think it is country music is hitting a niche that, like, us. But there were singer-songwriters back in the 80s and 90s.
I love
that
old school.
We had music. And when you turn on, like, radio station, I haven't listened to a radio station forever. It is electronically created. It's garbage. I mean, it's not music. It's just a bunch of noise. It seems like all levels are up.
Yeah.
There isn't any artistic, to me. It's just, and I'm not talking about, a style. It's like everything modern just seems a little bit, and I think that's filling that gap. Country music is, somebody strumming a guitar,
they're playing an instrument.
Yeah, exactly. Not a bunch of other electronics up there. So
Singer-songwriters.
Yeah.
There's a thing to say
Yeah.
about singer-songwriters. All right, gentlemen. That brings us to the end of the show, and it brings us to the final question. And before I get to that point, I'd like to say to like and subscribe to the show on our YouTube channels. Pop us a review every now and then. Be sure to check out the Patreon because I'm going to be putting more and more stuff, including the green room sections of our show. We go live before we actually start the show, and we only post that on the Patreon because sometimes, that could be incriminating. Gentlemen, the final question of the night is, have you ever peed whilst riding in a race? And if not, would you ever be tempted to even try it?
No and no.
Really?
Never peed.
You ever had the need to pee during a race?
Honestly, no.
Wow.
And
okay.
I'm holding it the whole time.
Okay. You're like,
well,
okay.
Sam almost got dropped. So I'm not facing that.
Okay.
I have never peed in a race. I've peed on training rides. Most of the races I've been in, usually by the time I've only had a few over 80.
You peed while on a training ride while moving?
While moving. Yeah.
Never done it.
I
Never
can do
tried
it.
it.
Yeah.
I don't think
it takes some practice. Well, bibs makes it hard. With when we had half shorts, it's pretty dang easy. But bibs are...
Yeah, because you got to arch your back already.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're trying to blow yourself with bibs and stuff like that. No, it's hard. I have not tried it, and I so underhydrate that I have never had that. Although at Belgian Waffle in Bozeman, I felt I had to pee, and I was like, oh God, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And I waited to the rest stop, and I'm too bashful, so I actually went into the outhouse.
Do you tap on the door?
No, it was showing. It was a porta potty kind of thing.
Yeah,
So it didn't have a half moon on it.
Yeah.
Some guy going, "No, come in here!
I'm making gin.
Hey!" Thanks, you guys. Waples, don't fuck it up for the rest of us in terms of America versus European countries. God, I'm jealous of there.
Yeah.
All right.
Would have been cool.
See you guys next week.
Mm-hmm.